gamers, I've got another track review for you. This track is called Fred in the Box, made by Frederick11. Now, Fred tried a lot of creative things on this map, and unfortunately, none of them really worked. I don't know where to begin. We'll start with that jump. That jump is okay, but if you miss it at the end, there's a lip. You can't get back up to where the checkpoint is, so you've got to go all the way back around. Really, the main problem with this is that there's no clear path to follow. Checkpoints seem to appear kind of randomly throughout the map, and they don't always appear in front of you where you can see them, so you often have to stop and look around to figure out which direction to go. So I would advise, not just to Fred, but to all forgers, if you're gonna do something like this, you've either got to have a clear path to the next checkpoint that a driver can follow, or the checkpoint has to appear where they can see it when they go through the checkpoint before. You can't have people just driving in circles trying to figure out which way to go. Now this little part right here is pretty cool looking. I don't mind it at all. It was a little bumpy. And you come off and you see one landing ramp and you think that's where you ought to go, but it's not. Now it does kind of veer towards the checkpoint where you're supposed to land, but there's so many situations where the track just kind of leads you in the wrong direction, especially here. I'm hauling ass towards this checkpoint. I can see a big ass jump, but then the checkpoint switches over to the left at the last second. So I missed it almost every single time. A lot of the jumps just aren't dialed in at all. Now, I don't mind having to figure out the best speed to hit a jump at to get a good landing, but with most of these jumps, there is no best speed. There is no good speed. There is no good landing. Honestly, Fred, I would chalk this map up as a learning experience, and I would start over from scratch. I think part of the problem is that you tried to keep the whole thing in this box to keep your novelty theme with the Fred in the Box idea. Honestly, my favorite thing about this map is the name. Now this little bank here for the 180, it just doesn't work at all. It's way too steep to work as a bank. He just went bananas with shield doors. There's shield doors where there's just no reason to have them. And he tries to correct some of the jumps that aren't dialed in with a shield door, like right here. Even with the shield door, it barely works. Now Fred's a good guy. I've seen some of his other stuff. I did a review of a track of his not too long ago. And this is definitely far from his best work. So keep trying, Fred, but my advice is to trash this and start over. It's a neat concept that I think if you work on for a while, you can develop it into a really cool race map, but as it is, it's a disaster. Now, I talked to Fred yesterday. He's in the race here while I'm filming, so we talked about it a bit already, so most of my criticisms aren't going to come as a big surprise. But thanks for watching. Be sure and subscribe.